Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we're going to look at multiple policies that are having a big impact across various social media networks. We're going to begin with some big changes coming to Twitter that'll have a large impact on how artists function on that platform. And then we're going to look at some updates regarding the Reddit blackout situation. And then we're going to end with more developments over the streaming platform drama involving Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. So we're going to start with this set of news right here. It has been leaked that there's some big changes coming to how Twitter DMs work. So you can see the message here. People are going to be restricted in how they will send direct messages to Twitter users depending on whether or not each side is a verified user, meaning they are paying for Twitter Blue. So here's some examples of how this works. As this states, right now, unless something changes before it goes live, you cannot send a DM as a verified user to an unverified user and vice versa. Meaning the only way that you can contact someone like that is if you're both verified. The only way you can DM between a verified and a non-verified account is if you both follow each other first. Now, this is just kind of a quality of life problem. Not everyone has Twitter Blue. So trying to contact just regular everyday people, because it's not just content creators who are verified, it's any person who wants to pay $8 a month. So it already makes communication difficult between verified and unverified users, but it's also, there's some more leaks saying that unverified users will have a limit as to how many DMs they can send per day. Like, imagine getting to a point where you can't send any more DMs mid-conversation because you hit your daily limit. Pretty crazy stuff. But the main reason we're talking about this, and it's relevant to this channel, is that this change will have a major impact on how artists function on this platform. So the vast majority of artists who function on Twitter rely on DMs with potential clients. And many times, these clients are unverified users. And in most cases, the people communicating, the artist and the potential client, they are not following each other. Even speaking from personal experience, when I reach out to an artist, many times I am not following them and they're not following me. I just send a DM to inquire about potential commissions and things like that. DMing artists is extremely important for them, and it's extremely important for clients to get in contact with them. Now, I'm going to state the obvious. There is a runaround to this whole thing, right? You can just link other platforms or link your business email and have them go through that. But from my experience, the second you add an extra hurdle or an extra layer in communication when it comes to trying to talk to people, especially clients on social media, that can like weave out half the people, right? Adding an extra hurdle has a big impact on how people communicate on social media. It's definitely a thing. So for artists who normally just rely on having their DMs open to the public, it's a big deal because now most of their clients won't be able to reach out to them. And most artists are Twitter Blue users. So if you're an unverified account, you will not be able to DM an artist for a commission. And that hurts not just other content creators looking for art, but it just hurts regular users who are trying to get an art commission. And things are already very difficult. I mean, the main reason this policy is going into effect is for a pretty valid reason, right? It is to cut down on bots. Bots are a huge problem on Twitter. They're a real huge problem in basically every social media platform, but they've been a big issue over the past couple of months on Twitter. I mean, there's a reason why when artists post that their commissions are open, they have to censor certain words like commission, because if they have certain trigger words like artist, art, commissions, open commissions, certain key phrases like that, they will immediately get hit with DMs from bots trying to scam them. And it's gotten so bad that even abbreviated or censored versions of words like commission will still be picked up by these bots because they're that frequent. Okay, so this is going to have a big impact. Not being able to DM people in most cases between, these DMs between artists and potential clients is a huge blow to artists and how they function and monetize their experience on Twitter. And Twitter is a huge hub for artwork. It really is. A lot of artists rely on Twitter, in some cases 100% for their commissions. So if this change to Twitter DMs goes into effect, it will greatly shape how artists function on this platform. So now we're going to look at some updates regarding the recent Reddit blackout situation. Now, if you want the full background of this story, you can check out my video from yesterday. It's listed in the description. But to sum this whole situation up very quickly, recently Reddit announced some changes involving how API functions on their platform. They are now going to charge apps and other services for gaining access to their API, which is how they function in the first place. And seeing this change, many Redditors were very upset. And they staged a blackout for June 12th. So 2 days ago, what they were going to do was set all of the subreddits to private mode, essentially going dark, as a way to protest this API decision, because a lot of their favorite quality of life and bot protection apps will no longer function if they have to pay to access this API that they need. So right now we're sitting at about 48 hours. Now that number is important because the initial boycott was set to be 48 hours and beyond. Now, as of yesterday, over 90%, impressively, over 90% of subreddits, including some of the biggest ones on the platform, went dark. That was a very impressive move. However, that 48-hour time limit was the biggest problem. I pointed that out yesterday. It is the biggest weakness of this entire movement because it sets a date that they're going to potentially end a good deal of the blackout. And of course, now we're hitting that 48-hour mark, and some of these subreddits are coming back. In fact, there's cases where mods are basically forcing the subreddit back out. And, that's despite even a lot of complaints from their community. They just want to function again. And I guess, Reddit mods want to be Reddit mods. That's not surprising. But yeah, this is the biggest weakness of the situation. And you have the CEO of Reddit coming out and saying that he and his employees are not worried about the protest. Now, this might be some cope, but the reason he's probably not worried is because people said it would only be 48 hours. And it's hard to negotiate when you're protesting under a time limit where you're going to come back no matter what. Now, like I said, a lot of the subreddits have remained offline or private, but a lot have come back. And it's really weakened this whole movement. And I guess it serves as a lesson to not put time limits on these things because it is showing its negative impact here and it's really crumbling this whole movement. But we're going to see what happens over the next coming days. It's going to be very telling to see if these subreddits will remain private. But here's another update involving the, I guess you would call it, streaming platform drama that's been going on. Twitch messing everything up over the past couple of weeks and months, and other alternatives like YouTube and Kick are using these opportunities to reel in some of those streamers who are upset with recent changes and behavior from Twitch as a whole. And this was a situation that happened about a day and a half ago. A lot of people are talking about this. So this streamer right here, Harris Heller, was on stream and he was talking about some of the recent changes that have been announced by Twitch involving some of their policies, and he was expressing his disappointment in what's going on. And during this, a staff member named Seth, a staff member for Twitch, came into his chat and started berating him and arguing with him. And at one point, Harris tried to ban this employee, which unfortunately for him, you cannot ban staff members from your chat. So basically, he was forced to sit there and have this person berate him on stream while he sat there helpless until the point where he shut off his stream. And here's the thing. A lot of people have been saying like, oh, well, that's, it's unprofessional, but that's not harassment. I believe it is. It's not the most egregious form of harassment I've seen, but it's the equivalent of basically backing someone into a corner and bothering them with no escape other than to quite literally leave work. I mean, it's the same as if you were in an office or something. The only way he was able to exit this workplace situation was to shut off his stream. It'd be the equivalent of leaving work to avoid one of your staff members arguing with you and not getting out of your face. It was a very unprofessional and terrible look at a terrible time for Twitch, who is dealing with every little sense of PR right now that is going the wrong way. And of course, Harris would actually come out and specify that it was a very anxiety-inducing experience and that he would eventually shut down and hang out with his daughter instead, which is a pro move right there, I have to say. But again, it's another terrible look for Twitch, and you have, once again, their competitors like Kick in the replies of all these tweets trying to promote people. It's just going really, really wrong for Twitch right now. And honestly, to give a little bit of a preview, tomorrow we're going to talk about a lot of this stuff involving Kick. It was my original plan for today, but honestly, the way things are working, it's a much larger thing and I need an extra day for it. So stay tuned for that. But I wanted to end with one final small announcement involving YouTube. So it appears that the YouTube Partner Program is expanding their access to certain features. They are lowering the threshold to gain some of these features. So the main thing is, this right here was the old template for applying to get monetization. To join the YouTube Partner Program, you had to have 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 valid public watch hours, which is a very high hurdle, by the way, or 10 million shorts views in 90 days, which is absurd, by the way. But nonetheless, they have lowered or added a certain caveat, an extra level to this whole thing, saying now if you reach 500 subscribers, have 3 valid public uploads in the last 90 days, and have either 3,000 watch hours or 3 million shorts views, you can gain basically their super chat function and the ability to promote some products and shopping features on your stream. It's not full monetization as we know it, but at least you can gain some aspects like super chats. So if you stream on Twitch or on YouTube, people can donate to you through super chats, which is a pretty big deal. That's probably the biggest tool of revenue for a lot of people, especially smaller streamers, when they are streaming on YouTube. Again, you still have to have 1,000 subscribers and this 4,000 valid public watch hours requirement to gain your traditional revenue share, which means, the ads on your video. That's probably the bread and butter for a lot of people, but you still have to get to 1,000. But it is nice and it is noticeable that they have reduced or added this extra little function, extra little milestone here to gain super chats at a lower threshold, which I think is their obvious attempt to lure more people over from Twitch who are very upset. A lot of streamers who are upset about things going on with Twitch and are looking for a new place to go like YouTube. But that's going to do it for this video. Like I said, we have a big video involving Kick coming tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please share all of your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.